I recorded last one. So I was saying, yeah, basically the idea is that using these verses from this surah, we basically familiarize ourselves with the grammar and then some very common words. And then obviously it's a journey to take it to the rest of the Quran, but then you'll be able to do this process yourself while you're reading the Quran. And then if there's one or two words that you don't know, then you can always like use a dictionary or look at the translation. So every year you learn more and more. Like for example, for me, Surah Tawbah and Surah Anfal, like those ones are really weak because they have such difficult words that you don't commonly find in the rest of the Quran. So like this Ramadan, I've been sitting down and being like, okay, these are the words I don't know. What does this mean? What does this mean? So it's always a journey. But for now, I think I understand like 70, 80% or more, I'd say.
Alhamdulillah, mashallah, barakallah.
Did we do 21? No, I don't think so. Yeah, we did. We stopped at 20, right? Yeah, so we were wondering about this takhruju and tambutu. So basically it's those kinds of verbs which are kind of like, they call them reflexive, but essentially it's that the action has been done to them almost, you know? So like instead of the trees grow themselves from the mountain, they are grown there, you know? So it's kind of like they're almost the object as well rather than the subject. And then also this one, the turisena tambutu idduhun, that the mountain produces the oil, but it's more like the oil is produced from the mountain, kind of like that. Yeah, but it's okay. You don't have to remember this. You will get very familiar with this kind of word form. Okay, 21. Bervan, you're one on my screen.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. وإن لكم في الأنعام لعبرة نسقيكم مما في بطونها ولكم فيها منافع كثيرة ومنها تأكلون. Okay. وإن لكم, and indeed for you, plural, في الأنعام, in the An'am, which is Surah Al-An'am. Which is, yeah, what is it? An'am? Yeah.
Cattle.
An'am. Cattle.
Cattle or livestock.
What's a cattle? Is that a younger cow or?
You know, cattle is like the general word used for like all kinds of livestock, like, you know, cows,
Okay.
sheep.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So in the cattle, la ibrata. Ibra, in Turkish we have a word, ibret. It's like lesson.
Well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lesson. Right.
So there's a great lesson, like ibret, it's like a great lesson, is lesson in this kettle. Nusqikum. Wait, nusqikum. Nusq.
So from saqa, suqiya.
Suqiya.
Alhamdulillah alladhi at'amani wa saqani wa ja'alni min al-muslimin. That dua that you read after. Wasaqani. So at'amani.
Yeah.
Can anyone guess?
Health, like.
No.
Sakina.
No, sakina. It's qaf. So it's from drinking. Drink.
Okay. Nasqikum. Okay. And there's a lesson, nusqikum, and your drink.
So what's the word form? So na, which tells you we, right?
We.
Nusqikum
is the you.
You. So we give you to drink. Nusqikum.
Give you. Okay, so it's not just, where do you find the give you?
No. So it means drink, saqa, but yusqa is to provide someone with drink.
Okay, tamam.
Almost like to water someone.
Okay, so we gave drink to you, mimma, from what? Fi butuniha, in something it. Butuniha.
Butun from button.
Button?
Yeah. So
is that a like a duck?
No. So
that's like, button. No, that's button, sorry.
We have this in Urdu, I think, button. I think so.
Button.
And then butun as plural, so from its bellies.
Bellies, okay. In the bellies? In the belly of it?
So this is one phrase. Nusqikum mimma fi butuniha. So we provide you
mimma,
or so we provide you a drink, nusqikum mimma fi, from what is fi, inside butuniha, its bellies.
Its bellies. Okay, tamam.
Are we talking about the an'am, right?
Yeah, okay, got it. Yes. Walakum, and for you, fiha, in it, manafi'u. Nafi'a. I have heard that before.
Manfa is also an Urdu word, if Hiba knows, or nafa and manfa.
Nafa'u. Nafi'a.
So basically, anything that's beneficial is like manfi, they say in Urdu. So manafir.
I think there's a word similar in Turkish. So benefit is like benefit?
Yeah.
Nafi'a.
Yeah. Kathir.
I think there's a Turkish, okay. Manafi'a, so great benefit. Kathiratun. ومنها, and from it, takulun, eat from it.
Taku, so you eat.
Yeah, you eat from it. You all eat from it. Yeah.
So the whole verse then is وَإِنَّ لَكُمْ فِي الْأَنْعَامِ لَعِبْرَةً, one phrase. In the cattle is a lesson for you. Okay. نُسْقِيكُم مِّمَّا فِي بُطُونِهَا, we give you drink from what is inside its belly. وَلَكُمْ فِيهَا مَنَافِعُ كَثِيرًا, and in you, for you, in it, in them, are benefits many. وَمِنْهَا تَأْكُلُونَ, and from it you eat. So it's like one thing, this cattle, it gives you like drink and other benefits like riding them, etc., and also eating. Yeah. And then Hiba, can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I don't know why my thing does it. It goes silent for the first 10 seconds and it catches up. وَعَلَيْهَا وَعَلَى الْفُلْكِ تُحْمَلُونَ. So wa is and, alayha is on it, wa-ala is like on top.
Yeah.
Al-fulk, I don't know what fulk is.
Okay. And tuhmalun.
So is it hamala? I don't know what so un is plural, right?
Yeah. And
un is plural.
You all do something. Hamal. Hamla. Okay. So
I don't know either words.
Okay. So 21. So one thing I wanted to write down was this nafa naf. Nusqikum. So basically, sorry, I should have done this. So nusqikum was from saqa. This is very common. You'll see this a lot. So a lot of times it'll be talking about the drink in paradise, for example, or yusqa. And then also in the story of Musa, when he watered the flock, it's the same word, that saqalahum, he watered the flocks for the two ladies. So it's a common word. And nusqikum, we provide you to drink. Okay, saqa, similar. Yusqa would be he gave to drink, right? So basically you see the give is kind of part of the meaning of the word. And the other thing was ibra, but that doesn't have any word form, so manafir is the other one I wanted to write. So manafir. Manafir. So this is also very common. You'll see this quite a lot. Manafir are benefits, and yanfar. Yanfar. Okay. Nafar, sorry. And then what did you just say? Fulk tuhmalun, that's it. So tuhmalun, you know that it's you. This ta is for you. Tuhmalun, this is the plural. So now what is the root word? What are the three letters left? That would be hamala. So basically hamala means to bear a burden. So this you'll see in various contexts. So this is one of probably the most common, like
hamile. In Turkish, when a woman is pregnant.
Exactly. That's the other one that hamalat, that's the other context it's used in the Quran. Yuhmal. And anything that bears your burden is like something yuhmal, it bears, or he bears. And also, I think in some verse where it says no person will carry the burden of another, I think it's also this word hamal used. Okay. And then fulk was actually ships. So it's like وَعَلَيْهَا وَعَلَى الْفُلْكِ تُحْمَلُونَ, which means on them, like on the cattle, وَعَلَى الْفُلْكِ, and on the ships, تُحْمَلُونَ, you are carried.
Got it.
And also, hamlet is the verb, so it's to become pregnant. And then if you want to convert this to a noun, it'll be hamala. So it's talked about Eve when she carried the baby. So it was like when she hamalat hamlatan khafifa. It's like when she bore a small burden. So you'll see it repeated because once is the noun, once is the verb. So a burden, a load. So now you can read a lot of verses whenever this word comes up because you know all the forms. Okay, Awa, your turn, 23.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. ولقد أرسلنا نوحا إلى قومه فقال يا قوم اعبدوا الله ما لكم من إله غيره أفلا تتقون. ولقد أرسلنا, so certainly we sent Nuh عليه السلام إلى قومه, to his people. فقال, so he said, يا قومي, O my people, اعبدوا الله. So I guess that's a command, so it'd be worship Allah. ما لكم من إله. I guess that ma is sort of like negation, so there's not for you any ilah, any god or deity other than him. أفلا تتقون is sort of like, so will you not have taqwa, so will you not sort of be God conscious, or basically have taqwa, I suppose.
Super good. I'm gonna what's it called, 23. So basically I was gonna say arsal, we all know, I guess we all know it's sent, right? Sent. So arsala, sent, and then you have yursal. You also have mursal, which means the person who is sent. So this is now a noun. And then mursaleen will be
the name of my friend, Mursa. Subhanallah. Next time I see her, I say, I know what you mean.
I know what you mean. She was like, what do you mean? What? What do I mean? Mursaleen and Rusul. Rusul is from this as well. Rusul, you know, a messenger, because they're sent. And then also Risala now is a message that's sent. Have you come across this? Risala? Right? So all these Yursal, Mursal, Mursaleen, Risala, what else? That's all I can think of at the moment. And then ila qawmihi, so his nation. Ya qawmi, so this little what's it called? This kasra tells you it's my qawmi. And ya is like oh, you know, oh Allah, ya Allah, etc. etc. That was a very good spot that this is a command form. Min ilahin ghayruhu. So ghayr, we said last time, it meant like without or except, you know. So ghayruhu, with except him or except it. It could be like who could be him or it. So in this context, it's him, except him.
I thought without
ghayru. So it can mean without or except.
Yeah. Okay. Tamam.
Yeah. Like kind of negating something. Or not as well in other contexts. It could be used as not. So it's very contextual. Afala, this is like made up of lots of different little suffixes. So one is la. La is the no bit. Fa is the so bit. And then this I don't know if we've covered before, but this is like question. So if you have at the beginning of a verb, it can sometimes mean question. So afala, it's like so not, you know, fala, afala, so will you not. And the will you bit is kind of implied. Afala tattaqun. And how is it implied? Because from the next it's afala tattaqun. So now you know that it was you that was talked here. So will you not be like tattaqun, which is from ittaqu, and you guys know this? Ittaqu?
Yeah.
I think yeah, from taqwa, but then it's tattaqun. Yeah, I think it's from taqwa. I've been looking, but they taqwa, tattaqun. So fear or have piety. And then it could also be, if it was أَفَلَا يَتَّقُونَ, then it would mean, will they not think or fear? Okay? So that's what I mean about the will you here is being implied, and you only know until you read the next word. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You look slightly confused, Birman.
Yeah, I will look at the notes again.
No, it's okay. If you have a question, ask away.
I think it makes sense.
So like أَفَلَا تَتَّقُونَ, because تَتَّقُونَ is in the form of you having fear, right? That's why أَفَلَا تَتَّقُونَ is, will you not have fear? If it was أَفَلَا يَتَّقُونَ, then the ya tells you it's about third person. So أَفَلَا, will they not fear, right? Okay. And your turn. Ooh, that's a long.
Yeah, okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. فقال I'm just going to start translating إن شاء الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. فقال الملأ الذين كفروا. فقال, then he said, right?
Or who said? We don't know yet until you read the next verse. قال الملأ.
ملأ.
So
ملأ.
ملومين.
No.
ملأ.
ملأ.
It means chief.
ملأ, I don't know.
Chief. So this is used quite a lot in the Quran, so you'll see this word a lot.
It means what you said?
Chiefs or leaders or.
Okay, tamam. Okay, so the leaders said, الذين, كفروا, disbelieve or liar.
Yeah, الذين كفروا, as in.
The الذين كفروا, so those who lie or disbelieve.
Disbelieve, yeah.
من قومه, from قومه, the nation or the people.
Yeah, his nation. So قومه.
His nation.
Yeah.
Okay, his nation.
Mm-hmm.
ما هذا إلا بشر مثلكم. هذا is this.
Yeah.
ما هذا, what this, except بشر بشر is a single person, man.
Or human, yeah.
Human, okay.
You're right. It could be used. It's used in both ways.
Okay, مثلكم, example for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying the words, like I'm not quite understanding, but يريد. يريد
from irada.
Yeah. Irada is will?
Yeah, or wish.
Or wish, okay.
So yuridu, they wish or he wishes.
Yeah.
أين.
Okay. تفضل. فضل.
اللهم يسألك من فضلك. That's a dua we ask from.
Like
فضل.
give bound, like give. Yeah. Okay.
Or yeah, provision, like to make something superior as well is called fadl. Okay.
Upon you, alaykum. ولو is like or.
Low is if. No.
Okay.
Oh was or.
Okay. Okay. And if Allah, with the will of Allah, لأنزلنا, didn't send.
لا أنزلنا. So not la. This is just a la. So don't get confused because it looks like la, but it's not la. It's la أنزل.
For you sent.
Separate. Sent, yeah. لا أنزل.
Okay, لا أنزل. ملائكة, angels. ما سمعنا. What سمعنا. We hear بهذا, of it, في, in آبائنا. آبائنا is that الأولين, like أول, like the forefathers from behind us.
Yeah, so that's the أولين, and then آبائنا is like our fathers.
Yeah, exactly. Forefathers.
Is single. Okay.
Okay, the meaning I didn't get it at all.
That's okay. So, that's why I'm here, and that's also why there's a translation underneath.
Yay!
So قال الملأ. So it's like another thing. This al can tell you who is the subject of the verb that has already been mentioned. So this is like, so said the chiefs, you know? So this is very common in Arabic, that the subject will come after the verb and it will have this al there so that you know who's doing the action. So فَقَالَ الْمَلَأُ. And you know how we say قَالَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ, قَالَ اللَّهِ. It's like said Allah instead of Allah said, but we always translate it as that. But if you notice, it's the order is not the English one. So فَقَالَ الْمَلَأُ. So this al, just remember this, yeah? It tells you what the subject is, who's doing the action. So فَقَالَ الْمَلَأُ, and then الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا, again, it's still talking about the mala. So قَالَ الْمَلَأُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا, it's like one phrase. Said the chiefs who had disbelieved from his nation, min qawmihi. So in English, you would say it as like the chiefs who had disbelieved amongst his nation said. But here it's the whole cluster. So what did they say? مَا هَذَا إِلَّا بَشَرٌ مِثْلُكُمْ. So not this except human like you. Essentially meaning this is but a human like you. So ma hada illa. So remember how last time we used to get, like, everyone used to get very confused about this ma and whether it's no or what?
Yes.
Both, right? So one of the ways was that when you see ma with illa, then you know, because illa means except, okay? So ma with illa will always tell you it's a sentence that has this form, that this is nothing but, he is nothing but, this is nothing except. You know? So ma hada illa bashar, he is nothing except a bashar mithlukum. And mithl, did you translate this right? That mithlukum,
yes, example.
like, exactly. So mathal is an example or a similarity or a parable. So mithlukum would mean similar to you or like you.
In Turkish we say misal.
Mithal, exactly. It's in Arabic as well. Mithal is the example. And mathal. Mathal is similarity. Mithlukum yuridu. So yuridu was from irada. Irada, like intention or wish or will, etc., etc. So also very common, you'll see it a lot. Turidu would be you wish, you know. Turidun, now you know the drill. It would be you all wish, you know. Okay. Okay, now this one. يَتَفَضَّلَ عَلَيْكُمْ. Now this is a strange, this is one of those complex forms. يَتَفَضَّلَ عَلَيْكُمْ. We don't have to, as long as you recognize what the main root is, which is fadl, which is like superiority or bounty, you know, excess, that kind of thing. And this ya we already know is he. So يَتَفَضَّلَ عَلَيْكُمْ is that he wants to make himself superior alaykum, on you. Okay, and this ta is kind of like, I think this is the same reflexive or passive one that we were talking about in the beginning, you know, tambutu. So he wants to make himself superior. Does that make sense?
Can you explain that again, just shortly?
Yeah, so the fadl bint, you got this, right? Superiority or bounty. Fadl, yeah. And yeah, this yeah, Arabic yeah is he or they, so third person. And
so it is also he.
What do you mean?
That's why I got confused, because I thought it was always they.
So what you can remember is it was always third person, and then it will either be he or they based on the ending. So if there's un and in, then it becomes a plural, sorry. They, it becomes a they. Make sense?
Okay.
And yet, he wants to be superior over you. You can remember it like that, like superiority over you. Because when you remember the fadl, when you recognize the fadl, and then alaykum, so superiority over you.
Okay.
You just have to recognize what the root is here. So the ta is a prefix, it's not part of the word. So, and then walau sha, if sha'Allah, God had willed, you know, from insha'Allah and law sha'Allah, if he had willed, la anzala malaika. So this one, even though it looks like a la, it's not a la, because this alif is part of the and sent down. And this la is for emphasis, that if God had willed, surely he could have sent a malaika, an angel, you know? So that was their argument. They were saying that he is nothing but a man, a human like you, and he wants to gain superiority over you. If God had willed, he could have sent down an angel instead of a human. And ma sami'na bihada, this ma is no, not the no ma. So ma sami'na, we haven't heard. And samir, you know, we know this, right? Sami'na, so we haven't heard. Ma sami'na bihada, of this, bihada, fi aba'ina al-awwalun, amongst our forefathers. Makes sense?
Yeah. Bit complex, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a long verse as well. I think we could stop here. It's 6:30. Yeah?
Yes. Tamam.
Cool. All right. So it was complex verses, but you've learned some new things like, you know, in and all those other things. So cool. See you guys on for the next day. I have no idea what date it is.
Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday. Yeah.
Wednesday.
Salam.
Thank you. Salam.
Bye bye.
Bye.